Is your home network acting funny? Do you have suspicions that your home Wi-Fi has been hacked? If so, you've come to the right place. That's because today we're taking back control of your home network. In this episode from Network from Home, I'm going to be detailing how you can see who's connected to your home Wi-Fi, and on top of that, I'm going to be explaining what you can do if you identify unwanted devices that are connected to your home network. In order to identify the devices you don't want in your home network, the first thing you need to do is identify the devices that you do want on your home network. This involves taking an inventory of all the devices you currently have connected to the internet. It can be anything from laptops, to mobile phones, to gaming consoles, also connected internet devices, such as maybe the lights in your home, any security cameras you have. Literally anything in your home that connects to the internet, you're going to want to get an idea of about how many devices that is. You don't have to get too crazy in terms of your investigation at this point, but if you can build a list of the devices that stand out to you immediately that are connected to your home network, that will be a great start here. Now that you have a list of devices that are connected to your home network, we can take that list and we can access your router settings to see what devices are actually connected to your router at this current point in time. I'm going to skip through the steps of accessing your router settings. If you're not sure how to do this, I've previously made a video that explains just what you need to do, so I'll link to that up above and you can check that out before moving on. All right, here we are at my router settings page. I'm just going to log in and we'll take it from there. In order to get to the current inventory of devices connected to my router, we have to go to the Advanced Settings section. So let's go right up here, Advanced Settings. And then from here, it's pretty straightforward. We go over to Security and then Access Control. All right, on this page, here's the list of devices that are currently connected to your router. Here, things might get a little bit challenging because it might not be totally straightforward to identify each device in this list. As you can see here, it looks like we have a few iPhones connected. We have some devices with specific names, but we have other devices that don't have specific names. Here's where that list of devices in your home will come in handy. What we want to do is in this IP address column, we want to make sure that the IP address of any device you don't recognize in this list is one of the devices in your home. What you can do is access the network settings for the devices in your home. That's where you can see what the IP address is, and you'll basically just want to work through this list here and make sure that you identify what that device is in your home. One thing I should mention here is that many newer routers actually have an application that you can use to access and modify your router settings. In some of these applications, you actually have the opportunity to rename devices. So as you're going through this list here, if your router does have an application you can use for administration, see if you can actually go in and change the names of these devices once you identify them. That will make it easier to identify what should and conversely what shouldn't be on your network moving forward. Let's say I work through the list of devices in my home network and I actually identify a device that I definitely don't want on there. Someone has hacked my internet. I don't want to give them access to my home network. What's the next step? Well, what you can actually do here is you can identify the device and block it from connecting to your router. Okay, so let's say I run through this inventory and I identify a device that I definitely don't want on my home network. Let's say it's my iPhone in this case. What we want to do, we can go and grab that device here. Let's say it's this one here, and we can add it to the Do Not Allow list. Here we added it to the devices in the blacklist. If we scroll back up, we turn on access control, default access mode blacklist. Blacklist is when you want to identify devices you don't want connecting to your router. Then we click save. Then this device will be saved as a device in the blacklist. And what we should see on my iPhone is that it's actually not able to connect to my Wi-Fi anymore. The problem with this is there's a catch with Apple devices. In an effort to protect their device users, Apple has actually made it so that each Wi-Fi network that your device connects to, it will have a different MAC address and a different IP address. You don't really need to worry about the MAC address at this point. The MAC address is essentially just a way to identify the device, but every Wi-Fi network, so example, a 2.4 gigahertz network and a 5 gigahertz network, your iPhone will show up as two different MAC addresses, two different IP addresses. So in order to get my iPhone totally disconnected from my router, I need to disconnect both the 5G and 2G IP addresses and MAC addresses that are used by my phone. So this MAC address that I've blocked at this point, that was the 5G MAC address. Now we want to go ahead and find the 2G MAC address and make sure that's blocked as well. If I log into my phone settings here, I can see that it's the 2C MAC address, or the MAC address ending with 2C. So essentially we go in here, we refresh this list, 2C, we want to block this as well. And now that I have gone ahead and blocked both the 5G and 2G MAC address and IP addresses from my phone, as you can see, I'm no longer connected to a Wi-Fi network. When I look at the list of available networks and try to connect, for example, the 2G here, it says unable to connect to the network. And that's because I've successfully booted my iPhone from connecting to this router. Another catch here though is that with Apple devices, if I reset my network settings and I try to reconnect to my Wi-Fi networks with the correct password, it will actually assign a new MAC address and new IP address. So rather than playing whack-a-mole with these devices, the best option here, if you have someone that's on your Wi-Fi network that you don't want to be on there, the best move is to actually pick a more complicated or a more complex password for your Wi-Fi networks. By ensuring that you have complex Wi-Fi passwords, it will make it much less likely that an unwanted person can join your Wi-Fi network. This might be a little bit of a pain anytime you want to actually add one of your devices to your home network, but for the sake of security and the performance of your home network, this is the best approach. As I mentioned, this is a great start when it comes to protecting your home network. Just keep in mind there are additional things you can do if you want to take your monitoring to the next level. For example, you can get notified every time a new device connects to your home network. This is a topic that I'll be discussing in an upcoming video, but just know that if you really want to take control of your home network, there are additional things you can do. You should congratulate yourself on achieving this first level of defending your realm or defending your home network. But if you have any questions about this information, please drop a comment below. If you found this video useful or this was a new capability you weren't aware of, please give it a like. That way it will get shared with other people that may not be aware of this as well. And lastly, if you like the content I'm putting out on my channel, I invite you to subscribe and come along for the ride. That way you'll be able to see my new videos as I put out more of them coming forward. As always, thanks for checking out this episode from Network from Home, and we'll catch you on the next one.